Welcome back to the 21 Boom Guided Meditation Series. I'm Coach Zach Feeney, and I'll be your guide for the evening. Once again, let's start the session with eyes open. Now, I'd like you to stare at an object in your visual field. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be your phone, a tree, something on your desk. And as you gaze at this thing out in the world, notice that you're seeing it and notice the sense that you're looking across space at it from some point behind your face. Notice the subject-object feeling. And now simply look for the subject. Look for the place that you seem to be looking from. Try to turn attention around upon itself and do this quickly. Do it suddenly. This isn't a gradual process. Simply look at the object and then look for what's looking. And in that first instant of looking, see if something changes. You might focus your attention with a sound. For instance, listen to the sound of my snapping. Use that sound to make your effort here very brief. You're looking at an object, and in the space of this finger snap, look for what's looking. Simply turn attention upon itself and then rest wide open. It's possible to glimpse in that first moment of looking for yourself that there isn't anything to find. There's a shift there where the object looking at suddenly no longer seems to be over there, outside of you. Rather, there's a single condition, just this openness of consciousness. If you can find that, simply rest as that, for as long as it persists. And now, if you'd like to, if it feels right for you, you can close your eyes at this point. Just fully surrender to the practice now. Feel the energy of your body. Notice how sounds appear and disappear. And let your mind be like a mirror that doesn't move to reflect what appears in it. Everything simply appears on its own surface. You might have noticed this when paying attention to the breath or sensations elsewhere in the body, or even to sounds. There can be this sense of directing attention to the object of meditation, and it feels like it's possible to be more or less successful in doing that. It's possible to get closer to the object of attention, or at least seem so. It's not quite true. Everything is simply appearing on its own in this space of awareness. Sometimes objects of perception are clear and sometimes they're not. And as you pay attention to the sensations in the body and sounds and even thoughts, occasionally look for the seat of attention. For instance, in the very moment of hearing my voice as the sound impinging on your eardrum as appears in consciousness, look for the one who is hearing. Is there a hearer in addition to the fact of hearing? Turn attention back on itself, even while noticing the next appearance in consciousness. Once again, keep awareness wide open. Notice sensations and sounds. And then periodically, gently, don't make a struggle for it, of it. Look for the one that's noticing. And in that first moment of turning, see if you can observe what noticing is like. What is hearing like in the first instant of looking for the one who is hearing? What is sensing of the breath like if you look for the seat of attention? And in the final minute of the session, become aware of the breath and sensations in the body. Let the breath come and go. Let sounds appear and disappear. Notice that you're not creating any of this. There's nothing to do. Everything is arising and being known all by itself. Simply give up all effort and notice whatever it is that you notice. Well, today I introduced a more precise exercise of looking for what's looking for the self, looking for the feeling that we call I. It and if it confounded you or seemed somehow difficult to do or frustrating, don't worry about it. We will return to this, and as I may have said before, you can always repeat these sessions. As a certain At a certain point, all of these sessions become evergreen because the full field of mindfulness has been introduced. So please repeat them as many times as is useful for you. When we practice meditation, one of the things we learn is how to begin again in each moment. You notice that you're distracted. You've been lost in thought for who knows how long, and suddenly you return to a clear witnessing of the contents of consciousness. You notice the sound or the breath or some other sensation in your body, or you see the present thoughts itself unraveling, and in this clear noticing of this next appearance in consciousness, we are training our minds, we are practicing our willingness to simply return to the present moment without judgment, without disappointment, without contraction, with a mind that is standing truly free of the past. And it's always possible to recover this freedom no matter what happens. Let's say you notice you're distracted, and rather than just observe the next sound or sensation, you're immediately plunged into self-judgment. You're annoyed. You subscribe to this damn app, to this like whole thing here, and you're supposed to be meditating, but you just spent the last 5 minutes thinking about something you saw on television last night. But you can break the spell and begin again at any point by just noticing self-judgments and frustration as appearances. And the truth is, they're as good as anything else you can notice when it comes to revealing the intrinsic freedom of consciousness. Its openness, its centerlessness, its selflessness. Honestly, frustration, real frustration, a mind like a clenched fist, is just as good as the breath or a sound or even an expansive emotion like joy, if you'll just drop back and notice what consciousness is like in that moment. Now, this ability to begin again has ethical force as well. It's actually the foundation of forgiveness. The only way to truly forgive another person or oneself is to restart the clock in the present. And this habit of mind allows for a resilience that we can't otherwise find, and there are literally hundreds of opportunities each day to practice it. If you notice that a conversation with a friend or a family member or colleague isn't going very well, or you're not having fun at a party, or you've been trying to get some work done, but you found that you've wasted the last hour on the internet, or you're working out in the gym, but you haven't been making much of an effort. The moment you notice this ghost of mediocrity hovering over the present, you can fully exercise it just by beginning again and then fully commit by relinquishing the past. There's no real reason why the next 10 minutes in the gym or the movement lab can't be the best you've had in years. There's no real reason why you can't put this conversation that's almost over on a new footing by saying something that is truly useful. So the practice is to stop telling ourselves a story about what has been happening and to fully connect to experience in this moment. Notice this present thought, this fear, this judgment, this doubt, this desire to be elsewhere as an appearance in consciousness, and then just begin again.